Hello, my survivor friends, and thank you for joining me today at Thriving and Beyond, a place where we can come to move further along our path to recovery and healing from abusive relationships or narcissistic abuse. So, today I wanted to bring up the topic of boundaries. I think some of us have ideas about boundaries, what they are not, what we should do, shouldn't do. Some of us may be afraid to set boundaries. So I wanted to present a new way of thinking about boundaries today. The first point I wanted to bring up is that boundaries are not punishment to anyone else. Boundaries are not supposed to be punishment. They are, however, protection. Protection for you. And that may take a change in our mindset. That may take some practice and trial and error. But boundaries are not meant to punish anyone. They are meant to protect. They are our true authenticity coming through with what we need and what we want in all relationships in our lives, whether it's a romantic partner, a family member, a friend. Boundaries are simply a way to protect your best interests. Now, having said that, there are times when we need to give a little bit or compromise or negotiate. However, by and large, boundaries are a way to let other people know where we have drawn the line in the sand, things that we will no longer be participating in. Again, that doesn't mean that all the time across all relationships, every single boundary will be set in stone every single day. There are some that should be set in stone every single day, but there are others that may need to be bent a little bit for the sake of the relationship in a healthy relationship. The reciprocity and the meeting in the middle, so to speak, sometimes is necessary. However, this is not the case when it comes to a narcissist. We simply cannot bend boundaries anytime, any place when a narcissist is near us. And it doesn't even really matter the type of relationship. The only exception to that I can think of right now would be with an employer. And when I say an employer, I mean perhaps there are boundaries geared around your morals, your beliefs, that others at work simply do not have the same level or the same attachment. Or maybe you do work with a narcissist, and if you do, I know how difficult that is. So for the sake of keeping your job, for the sake of keeping that paycheck coming in, there may be times when you are uncomfortable in certain situations, but it works for you in the long run because you're not going to lose your job. You're not going to create difficulties in the workplace simply because you know what your boundaries are, but also understand that at times we do need to bend just a little bit because the end result needs to work for us as well. And that end result might just be staying employed. So the change in mindset is moving from thinking that boundaries are punishment for others. They are not. They are simply protection for yourself, what you need in your life, what behaviors and what attitudes and even what topics you would like to discuss or not discuss in this case are the most beneficial for you, the healthiest for you. Everyone has a right to their own boundaries. We do need to be very careful, however, of when the tendency comes in, and again, this is a change in our mindset, the tendency comes in, especially for those of us with difficult childhoods, to please others and make others happy all the time. When we are fearful, when we don't want to upset other people, when we do not want to make others mad, we're afraid of their response. So we may hold back on a boundary that we truly want in our lives, but we're so fearful of what their response might be, we do not follow through with any type of action. When we do that, we are sacrificing what we need in our lives for the sake of the other person. We are absorbing their, whoever it may be, their needs and wants in becoming responsible for them rather than being responsible only for ourselves. When we are willing to sacrifice our own needs and wants because we are afraid of making somebody mad or angry or upsetting them in some way, we are in fact chipping away at our own authenticity. None of us are responsible for how any other person responds to our boundaries. We're not responsible if they get mad because we don't want to talk about a certain topic. We are not responsible if they get upset and walk out of the room or walk out of the house or even walk out of the office because we've made it clear that a particular set of circumstances is not acceptable to us. If we look at a work situation, perhaps it's the way someone talks to you. Maybe they are demeaning and belittling, or maybe a friend over time has become someone who is just not healthy for us anymore. We may need to set a boundary and let that person know, if you talk to me in such a way, I'm ending the conversation. Or if you act toward me in such a way, I need to take time for myself. These are perfectly acceptable and actually pretty gentle boundaries. Some boundaries will need to be stronger. This would certainly be the case with a narcissist. So let's talk about that in this next bit. When we have a narcissist in our family or in our friend circle, or that we are together with in a romantic relationship, boundaries are a way to protect your health, your sanity, your emotions, your energy, your efforts, everything. Boundaries are not to punish, they are to protect you. And that is a concept that a narcissist will not understand. So don't even worry about discussing it with them or trying to explain to them. With a narcissist, boundaries need to be simple. If this happens, then I will this. And that is okay. Lay it right out. If this happens, I will this. It's up to you to fill in those blanks depending on where you are in the relationship, what boundaries you need to create for your own safety. Do not expect a narcissist to get it, to uphold your boundaries, because that's not going to happen. A narcissist doesn't even know what a boundary is. Just look at their lives. People coming and going and here and there and doing this and that, and just narcissist and boundaries don't mix. That's why if you have a narcissist in your life, no matter who they are, but particularly if it is a romantic relationship, your boundaries need to be clear, short, and action must take place after the boundary has been set. After we have set our boundaries with a person who has become unhealthy for us, you can expect some kind of reaction, but that's not your responsibility. It's not your fault either. It may be an indication that they are upset with you because they can't take advantage of you any longer, or that something they want to talk about or something they think is so important must be done right here, right now. But your boundary is that you're not going to tolerate talking about that topic, or you're not going to tolerate that type of behavior. And if you are in a situation such as those things, you will take care of yourself by yourself leaving the room or leaving the house or some other way taking care of yourself. Unhealthy, emotionally unhealthy people don't tolerate or accept boundaries easily because it encroaches upon their need for power and control. With a narcissist, power and control and superiority are so important that your boundaries will be a threat. Let that be a lesson that the boundaries are absolutely necessary. Let the narc do what they need to do. You stay strong. You set the boundaries for your own authentic needs and wants, and know that anyone else's reactions are not your responsibility. There may be some upheaval, there may be some tantrums. In the case of safety, or when safety might be compromised, I absolutely encourage you to take any step necessary to ensure your safety. You can expect bad reactions from emotionally unhealthy people to boundaries. Let that just be another sign that, yes, indeed, you are in the midst of an emotionally unhealthy person, whether they're a narcissist or somehow otherwise emotionally not balanced. So, in closing, I hope that I've given you a little bit of a different perspective to think that boundaries are not punishment. They truly are not punishment to anybody else. That's not even who we are as people. We don't want to punish people. We want to love people and we want them to feel good. But that feeling good cannot be at our own expense. Setting boundaries is for your own protection, your own emotional health, and balance and safety. So if you found this video somehow informative, or maybe you just enjoyed it, maybe you could share it to others, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel Thriving and Beyond. It is my greatest pleasure to be here to help us all walk further along the journey to recovery and healing from abusive relationships. Stay the course, have faith in this journey, and we will get all of us to the other side with hard work. And I'm sending blessings to all of you. Thank you again for watching.